What's good, y'all? So I was Kamunya here and I'm back with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about good debt versus bad debt. If you're new to this channel, then it's all about earning money, saving money, and investing money to achieve financial freedom. If you haven't been rocking with us and you don't know what financial freedom is, then financial freedom is the ability to live off of passive income from assets that you've invested in so that you don't have to trade in your time for money at a job anymore. Let's get into today's video.
I guess I got my swagger back.
Now, I know this topic is somewhat of a controversial topic for a lot of financial gurus and a lot of financial educators out there, because many people say stay away from debt altogether. All debt is bad, right? Dave Ramsey. But it's very important that when you're listening to these people give their takes and their teachings or their perspectives or whatever, that you're always looking at their perspective, right? Are they wealthy? Are they in a place you want to be? Who's their target audience, right? If it's Dave Ramsey telling you to stay away from debt, then obviously his target audience is more so people that are not necessarily looking to become millionaires or extremely wealthy, right? But if you're listening to Robert Kiyosaki, his target audience are people that are looking for financial freedom and looking to build wealth with assets, right? So it's a different class, right? If you ask me, I mean, I prefer the latter, but you know, Kiyosaki versus Ramsey, that's a separate topic for another video, which will be coming soon. And to me, I'm like, well, yeah, way to go out on a limb. Of course, it's easy for me to come up here and tell you stay away from debt, and you know, you can pretty much live your life in the middle class or, you know, poor for the rest of your life. People need to understand something about debt. Debt is like a fire. Fire can give you third-degree burns or it can cook your food, right? But as we all know, cooking is a skill that you have to develop. You don't just know how to cook all of a sudden, right? If you don't know how to cook, your food will be trash. In the same way, if you don't know how to use debt, you will get burned. So to start this off, I think there's two things you really need to understand. Number one, you're either a consumer or you're a producer. Number two, debt is what makes the world go round, whether you're a consumer or a producer. Consumers use debt to buy things that they're going to be the last to consume, aka liabilities. Producers use debt to buy things that other people will consume last, aka assets. So typically free markets favor producers. Producers are the ones that are going to be rewarded with, number one, people and money working for them, and number two, paying less taxes. While consumers, on the other hand, they're going to have to take out debt and then go to work to pay it off. And then on top of that, get taxed by the government for the money that they just worked for. What people need to realize is that life as a consumer is a debt trap. Because think about it, right? You go to school, aka take out debt. Then you got to go get a job to pay off that debt, right? And then society says, oh, you need a car, so you take out more debt. And then you got to go back to work to pay off that debt. And then society says, oh, it's time to buy a house, so you take out more debt. And then you got to go to work to pay off that debt. It is a debt trap when you live life as a consumer. You can never escape that. That's what we call the rat race. So what is bad debt? Well, bad debt is anything that's going to inhibit or present itself as a liability. And as we know, a liability is anything that takes money out your pocket. Bad debt is any debt in which you're the last person to consume it and you're paying to consume it. So you're getting cooked on both ends. So a car that you went and financed to own and drive yourself every day, that is bad debt to get into, because you have to slave for that debt every day. You have to go to work to pay that debt off. A house that you mortgage to own and live in, you know, for yourself or your family, again, that's bad debt because you have to go slave to pay that debt down. I know we have that huge argument of whether your house is an asset or a liability. Personally, I believe your house is an asset, but the mortgage is a liability. If you're the last person to live in that house and you're paying for that mortgage, then that's a bad debt to get into. My rules for bad debt are simple. I need to have number one, a clear plan on when I'm gonna be able to pay it off. And number two, I don't wanna be able to pay interest on it at all. So for example, when I was working on one of my properties, I bought all my materials from Lowe's on a credit card. The key is that this Lowe's card had a promo that I wouldn't have to pay interest for 6 to 12 months as long as the balance got paid in full. So every time I go to Lowe's and put debt on a credit card, I know before the interest starts accruing that I'm going to have this credit card paid off so that I don't have to pay interest. And if I don't pay interest, then I just got free money. 0% money, that's free money. I'll take it. Now, good debt, on the other hand, is any debt that you incur that you're going to get a return on in the future, right? So essentially you're financing an asset. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket, right? It's adding to your bottom line and not taking away from your bottom line, which is your cash flow. Good debt means that someone else is either the last person to consume it or they're paying for it. A car that you finance to rent out to someone else, let's say you bought a car for Turo or hire car or whatever the case may be, and you financed it through the bank, you're renting it now, and now that rent is paying for that bank note and you're making money on top of that. That is good debt because it's putting money into your pocket. It's adding to your bottom line.
Tell them to bring me my money.
A house that you mortgage yourself, but you rent out to someone else for them to consume and for them to live in, and their rent pays that mortgage, that is again good debt to incur because it's adding to your bottom line. As long as you're cash flowing, make sure you're cash flowing. If you're not cash flowing, then it's a liability, and I would consider that bad debt because it's costing you out of your bottom line. That means you have to go to work and slave to pay off that asset. I don't want to have to do that. I want someone else to pay off everything that I own. I want to make sure someone else is paying for it to turn all my debt into good debt. Good debt I don't mind having. And so that's the dope thing about house hacking too. House hacking is essentially when you can live in one unit or one bedroom of your house and you rent out the others, right? Because now you still get to consume the property or the house, but someone else is paying for it. So remember when I said that your house is an asset, but your mortgage is a liability? As long as someone else is paying you rent, that mortgage now becomes an asset as well, because if you didn't have that mortgage, you wouldn't get to cash flow. And that cash flow allows you to reach financial freedom sooner. So that is very key to remember. You have to be cash flowing for it to be good debt, in my opinion. Yeah, you can look at the appreciation, you can look at the loan pay down, you can look at the tax benefits, and we can consider all that. But simplistically, we are talking cash flow. Does it cash flow? Are you making money? If someone else is paying for that liability in full, then that's good debt. This is why I believe in the power of leverage, right? Leverage is essentially being able to use OPM or other people's money to scale your business, right? It'll allow you to reach financial freedom sooner. Think about it. If I had $100,000 and there was 5 houses for $100,000, then I could either go buy one house in full and have no mortgage on it, or I can go buy 5 houses and put 20% down, put $20,000 down on each, and now I have 5 properties, right? Let's say one of them, if it had no mortgage, it can cash flow $1,000, but with a mortgage, each one can cash flow $250. Well, times 5, now you can cash flow $1,250 as opposed to $100, right? So now you're getting more cash flow, you're getting 5 times the appreciation, you're getting 5 times the loan pay down, you're getting 5 times the tax benefits, you're getting 5 times the equity buildup. That is the power of leverage. You can scale things a lot quicker using OPM as long as you use it responsibly. Obviously, that's gonna help you reach financial freedom sooner, right? If I have 5 properties cash flowing me $1,250 as opposed to 1 cash flowing me $1,000, I'm a lot closer to financial freedom with my $1,250, right? So that's the difference between good debt and bad debt. Honestly, the best way to really break it down, and we can even look at it simpler than this. The object doesn't matter. It's all about whether you're paying for it or if someone else is paying for it. Doesn't matter if it's student loans, doesn't matter if it's a car, doesn't matter if it's appliances, doesn't matter if it's furniture, doesn't matter what it is, as long as that debt is allowing you to make money, right? If you are making more money than you would have without that debt, then it's good debt to incur in most situations. Obviously, you have to look at your personal situation and see what works best for you and whether you can afford to take that much risk. Because of course, any debt incurred is increased risk. I have to mention that. I would be a fool not to mention that. You are taking on more risk. But as long as you can reliably and comfortably say that something will always cash flow no matter what happens externally, no matter what happens to the market, no matter what happens outside of your control, it's still going to cash flow, then that's good debt. Otherwise, if it's not cash flowing, you can throw that in the trash. Anyways, I want to know what y'all think about this. Do y'all think that you should stay away from debt completely, or do you think debt has the power to allow you to really, reach your goals a lot sooner financially or even in business or whatever the case may be? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to have that discussion. Anyways, that's it for this video. Be sure to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and share this with 2 people that you think need to hear this. I'll see y'all in the next one.